And so to Kenneth Branagh, the 30-year-old wunderkind of stage and screen who won Oscar nominations as director and star for Henry V. As an encore, he went to Hollywood once more as director and star, no point in messing about, to make Dead Again, a 1940s-style thriller which spent several weeks at the top of the American box office chart. A man with a golden touch, Mr. Branagh, and here he is in the studio. Kenneth, it occurs to me that after Henry V, you must have been inundated with offers to make films on classical subjects. Would that be a fair guess?
Yes, a selection of things. The worthy but dull, but literary biopics. There was somebody asked me to do a 6-hour Life of Tolstoy, which I fear the world is not waiting to see. And the other thing I got offered were things with rain in them, rain and battles, or preferably both. So all the
well, you're good at battles.
Battle, yeah, that's what he does. You know, he did that Henry VIII thing. You know, so I got sent all the Vietnam pictures that didn't get made. And when I read them, I knew why they hadn't been made. So out of that sort of bunch of scripts from the lower end of the shelves with quite a lot of fingerprints on them, came Dead Again.
You went along to Paramount with some fairly cheeky conditions, I think, for somebody who'd only made one movie before. Did you not insist that you and your wife, Emma Thompson, and I mention she's your wife not for your benefit, because I know you know that, for the benefit of anybody out there who doesn't, but that you and she should both play 2 roles, that Derek Jacobi should be in it, that a kind of production team that you wanted should be there. These are cheeky demands to make of a big Hollywood studio.
Well, they're cheeky, but they're well used to cheek out there, I think. I would describe them as realistic demands based on my vast canon of work, my other film, which provides me with so much of an insight into the world of filmmaking, meant that, in fact, to go there and direct be a stranger in a strange land, the studio system, Hollywood, American genre picture, however I felt about it, and I felt very strongly about it, I knew that I needed the sort of little repertoire ensemble company that any director of films or in the theatre builds up around them. Actors that they like to work with. I mean, you know, on a sort of supreme example of this, people like Woody Allen or Scorsese are examples of people who use folk regularly. Emma Thompson, Derek Jacobi, both people I've worked with a lot. And the composer, Patrick Doyle, has contributed a score to this, which is as fundamentally sort of part of the film as it was for Henry V. Tim Harvey, the designer, and Phyllis Dalton, who won an Oscar for her costume designs for Henry, were people on whom I genuinely did rely, and in fact without whom I felt I couldn't make the film.
Well, it all obviously worked, because it was very nice to see a very Hollywood film, very American film, totally dominated by 3 Brits.
Yeah, yes, it was weird and wonderful, and it's great. I was in America when it opened, and it's wonderful because they just don't know who we are. They have no idea who we are. There's this guy, and they now know this unknown American actor called Kevin Branagh. And then there's another guy who plays a German at the beginning, and they have no idea who he is. So it was fun.
June 1949. That was Roman Strauss. That was his wife, Margaret. And that was their home. Handsome man, wasn't he? Not at all the sort who'd murder his wife. Oh, yes. He stabbed her in the throat with a lovely pair of antique gold-plated de Shearer barber scissors.
De Shearer? De Shearer?
They were auctioned at Christie's last year for 20,000. For a Japanese gentleman, if memory serves.
They seem so in love.
Yeah, well, those are usually the people who kill each other.
How did they treat you in Hollywood? Was there a certain reverence for somebody who'd directed Henry V, the great classic, and got 2 Oscar nominations? Or was there a sort of attitude that, what's this snotty-nosed kid doing coming into our studio?
There was a useful snob factor to do with them believing that the genius actually attributable to William Shakespeare had somehow rubbed off on me. So I rode once again on a dead playwright's coattails there, and was able to at least earn myself the couple of weeks in which you have to establish whether you're going to do it on time and on budget, those rather mundane things, next to are you going to do it very well. And we were all like kids in a toy shop, you know, and there I was driving through the pink gates of Paramount every day thinking, I can't believe I'm here, somebody's going to come and pick me up one day, say, no, you're out. I'm working on this, say, the kind of picture that my mother has always adored watching, and therefore I've been watching since I was old enough to do it. So one was just totally thrilled. We were on the stage 21 at Paramount, which used to be part of the old RKO lot, which is now part of Paramount, where part of Xanadu was built for Citizen Kane. So literally shooting on that lot. When somebody told me that, my jaw hit the floor, and I was wandering around like a sort of, 6-year-old thinking, I can't believe we're in this. So they rather responded to the fact that you were very conscious and sensible of the privilege and all the rest of it without getting too twee about it. We were just thrilled to be there and working at the heart of movies on a real movie. So one brought all of one's sort of fanny, Buffy kind of enthusiasm to that, and I think that made a change for them.
You must by now, of course, have got used to the fact that people are saying you're the new Olivier. Now they're beginning to say maybe he's not just the new Olivier, maybe he's the new Orson Welles as well. Now, how do you react to all this?
Oh, well, it's all nonsense, isn't it? I mean, I think the fact that there are so few actor-directors mean that, just there are a few yardsticks by which anyone can be judged. And, I often think that maybe the Orson Welles thing is to do with an assumption that I'm about to become very fat. Maybe that's where the comparison is. It doesn't mean that you're somehow trying to rival the quality of their work. Nobody's work can be judged. Somebody like me who's been doing it for 2 minutes, it's sort of ludicrous to judge against people who have a lifetime of work and a body of work from a different time and period. And yet I can nevertheless understand, although I don't share the views, that in the absence of a track record of work, people look for a place to put you, and if you're seen as an actor-director megalomaniac, then they pitch you against other people who've done it much better. So I take it with a pinch of salt.
You mentioned the word megalomaniac. I've read several interviews with you in which you appear to be forced to spend a lot of time denying that you're a megalomaniac or an egomaniac. Yeah. Now, how does this topic come up? Is it that journalists come to you having decided in their own minds that you must be a megalomaniac, so that therefore they've got to accuse you of it? Or do you behave in that way when you're talking to them?
Well, I mean, often I wear a crown and I'm sitting there in a cloak. They seem to take offence. I don't know why, but I mean, it seems to be perfectly normal. Obviously, I'll arrive at the interview on a horse. I've got several people that I will beat during the course of an interview. No, I think people do come with an attitude. A woman came to me the other day and said, what is all this? I mean, how long are you going to keep doing this look at me stuff? I said, but, that's what we do. We're actors. I'm in it. I'm in the business of entertainment. Do you mean that everybody who wants to do that for a living is somehow, rampant egomaniac anymore? And this was a journalist. I said, don't you want people to write, to read what you write? Isn't that what you do? I mean, I'm not assuming that you're incredibly arrogant because you believe people might want to read what you've just written. It's just what we do. It's just a job. And, one's not trying to put other people out of a job. Or, in fact, I mean, it's something I keep reminding myself of is in these allegedly egomaniacal situations, I've provided an enormous amount of other people with jobs and with work and would hope to continue doing so. Your big sin is that you did all this very young. I mean, to write your autobiography at 28, to start your own theatre company at 28, it's terribly un-British. Yeah. I guess, but I mean, it provides, I'm just waiting for, people write it anyway. I mean, Dead Again's been a success in America, and we remains to be seen how it does elsewhere, but I mean, one therefore expects a series of articles or whatever of just, the golden boy has fallen from whatever I've fallen off. He was on it and now he's fallen off it. I mean, I just... But why do we do that in this country? Because we do, don't we? Yeah. We don't like success very much, and we certainly don't like young people being successful, and I'm not even entirely sure we like young people. But there is this, isn't there? This element comes into it. Well, sure, and I can't explain it other than, here I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm reasonably happy, I'm not, I'm not ill, I'm not doing a heavy manual job, I'm not, so that I can't even get worked up about whether people are going to like me or not like me. It's only a job, it's only a film, and I'm only an actor. I don't think people really care, so I can't think that I can really get worked up about it. And one can do nothing other than expect to be in, to be out, to be in fashion and out of fashion, and I think that if you can allow yourself, if people can allow you to keep working, then that's nice. If you can just if you reach 70, you've managed to do some films you wanted and some plays you wanted, then, the odd person saying you're a load of old rubbish is a small price to pay. Great. Thank you very much, Kenneth. Thanks, lovely.